It can be harder to get a victory royale in Fortnite than it seems. With so many opponents coming at you, no game's the same, but you need that extra edge. If you want to take that W, you'll need to stop making mistakes. And today, we're going to tell you about some of the biggest errors Fortnite players make and how to avoid them. But before we get into some of the biggest mistakes and fails noobs tend to make in Fortnite fails, subscribe to TheGamer and ring that bell to join our notification squad so you never miss any of our epic Fortnite videos. If you're playing Fortnite and you're searching for some loot to make your chances of winning a bit better, there's one thing you need to do. You need to keep your wits about you and make sure that when you see some gear scattered around, you aren't walking into a trap. YouTuber Expert Thief demonstrated this best. He created an intricate trap, which was sneaky but wildly successful. He stayed underneath the floor, and as soon as he saw an opponent run towards it, Expert Thief edited it so the noob landed on a launch pad and got obliterated by a damage trap. If his opponent had been careful, he would have left it alone and lived. Fortnite's deadliest enemy isn't some player who's armed to the teeth with the best weapons. No, it might actually be the Storm. YouTuber Formula knew this. In fact, he played a game of squads where he ended up trapping his teammates in the Storm. It certainly didn't help things because there was no way out. If you're a new player, you need to make sure you stay within the circle at all times, or else you'll take unnecessary damage and may not be able to fight your way back into the circle. If you want to get good in Fortnite, it pays to learn from the best. It'll give you a helping hand as well as pointing you in the right direction. One of the better Fortnite YouTubers out there, in our opinion, is Grenader Jake, whose videos have a kind of brutal beauty that's hard to match. His biggest piece of advice is to not play too defensively. You'll need to make at least one kill if you're gonna win, and you need to practice your attacks. So don't hide away too much. Get out there and do some damage. Behold YouTuber Frenzil and their wondrous buildings. Aren't they cool, clever, and aesthetically pleasing? Yes, they are, and while you may not be able to reach such heights of architectural brilliance yourself, they contain an important lesson. You have to build. It's the feature which sets Fortnite apart from similar games, and it could save your life. Being able to construct a quick shelter so you can heal yourself during an intense battle, or making a shortcut while running from the storm can be the difference between a win and a loss. So do it! Fortnite player Fortlights killed an opponent while they were still coming down from the battle bus, and then they shared it with the world on YouTube. Wasn't that nice of them? Well, it was nice, but it was also educational. Once you're off the bus, it makes sense to land as soon as you can. Don't fall into the newbie trap of using your glider too early. You need to make sure you get to the ground and find useful bits of loot before you turn into just another airborne casualty of a quicker player. Fortnite is a visual game, sure, but if you want to win and win big, you have to use your ears. Want to get lots of loot? Pay attention to the sounds of the chests, like YouTuber OmniPie. You can also avoid walking into a pitched battle because Fortnite's guns are loud, so pay attention to wherever the shots are coming from. You might also want to keep emoting to a minimum because if that bleeds through, someone else might just pick up on it without you noticing. There used to be a glitch which allowed you to harvest insane amounts of material in a very short space of time, as demonstrated by YouTuber Hollow. While it got patched up, that doesn't mean you should ignore your pickaxe. Certainly, in the earlier stages of the Battle Royale, it's a good idea to swing that thing as much as you can. You won't be punished for carrying around wood, rock, and metal, so having plenty in store can make it easier to protect yourself when the storm shrinks and it comes down to crunch time. If we were to ask 100 people to name as many great Fortnite players as they could, we reckon Ninja would be very high on that list. However, Ninja didn't become the Battle Royale legend by doing nothing. No, one of the reasons he's so renowned is because he tries to keep a cool head. So learn from that. Seriously, you don't want to flake out when the storm is coming and the guns are firing. You need to be as thoughtful and as methodical as can be. Make a plan and try to stick to it. Fortnite player Dakotas made a cool video where he gave players tips on how to loot as efficiently as possible. Some of those tips are very useful, and we recommend watching it since it'll help you earn a Victory Royale. If you're gonna loot players and chests, you have to make sure you know how to do it. You don't want to be hanging around admiring your handiwork or staring at the chest, so be quick and careful to make sure you don't get yourself killed while you loot. When you're just starting out in Fortnite, it can be a bit daunting to know which are the best of the myriad weapons in the current meta. What works best for you will depend a lot on how you play the game. Whether you like to stand off and snipe or get in there with some close quarter kills, you'll find the right set of weapons. What's more important is keeping your inventory organized. If you know where everything is, you'll save time and won't bring up things you didn't mean to bring up. Oh, and make sure there's some medical equipment among the devices of death too. Fortnite's dancing has become a craze independent of the game. Kids are doing it in the school playground, while one of the crazes of the 2018 FIFA World Cup was the Take the L celebration, most devastatingly used by French striker Antoine Griezmann. Yes, it's fun to get your emote skills going. However, you don't want to celebrate too soon, and YouTuber Toasty Savage YT showed us what happens when you get too cocky. Not only did this John Wick dance his heart out, but he forgot to look for traps as well. Those were just some mistakes Fortnite players often make. What do you think is the worst Fortnite mistake you can make? Did we leave any good ones out? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to TheGamer for more Fortnite videos like this one. Thanks for watching!